Oh, howdy all. Grab yourselves a beer. It is time for some Path of Exile zany theory crafting, because today we got the list of gems that are coming out in the Heist League. Now, I'm not looking at the new skill gems here. Those are worth a look as well, but I'm looking specifically at the alternate quality gems. Now, there's more than 800 of these little beauties, and they're going to be rare drops from the Heist content. Some of them just have minor mechanical changes, like for instance increased buff effect on Ancestral Protector as an alternative to increased totem damage. This is fine. This is probably better for most people that use an Ancestral Protector totem, but it doesn't transform what the skill does. It doesn't transform the way you might want to build around it. However, what if I told you that there is an alternate quality skill gem that can enable a build that uses Earthquake with Indigon? So for those of you that aren't familiar, Earthquake is a very stereotypical melee slam attack. You smash the ground, you do damage around you, then a few seconds later the ground smashes back and hits everything that's in that area for even more damage. Stereotypical melee attack, the sort of thing you associate with a berserker. And then you have Indigon, which is a spellcaster helmet. It's a very niche item, and it's something that you cannot build around at the start of a league. The reason for that is that Indigon is a drop that can only come from the Uber Elder encounter. Uber Elder is something that is very difficult to beat very early in a league, and additionally is very difficult even to access. Usually the first completed kill of Uber Elder in a new trade-enabled softcore league will be about 24 hours into the league. The first Indigon might be looted around 36 hours into the league, and they're not going to be widely available on the market in trade until perhaps 14, 18, 21 days in. So don't count on league starting this unless you're even crazier than I am. However, what is happening here is that Indigon, which has always only been useful for spells in the past, does have an interesting couple of little effects. So the key thing here is 25%, you'll perfectly divine this for sure, 25% increased spell damage for each 200 total mana you have spent recently, up to a hard cap of 2000% increased damage. So why on earth do we care about spell damage? Well, enter the alternate quality on Earthquake. Increases and reductions to spell damage also apply to attack damage from this skill. So what we're looking to do here is find ways to make Earthquake do a lot of damage and to spend a staggering amount of mana in some way. Enter Arcane Cloak. Arcane Cloak is a guard skill. It burns almost all of the mana that you've got at the moment. At gem level 21, it burns 65% of your character's current mana. So if your maximum mana is 4,000 and you've got 3,000 mana at the moment, and you pop Arcane Cloak, this is going to burn 1950 mana at gem level 21. Gem level 20, it'll burn 1920. Gem level 19, it'll burn 1890. Once it burns that mana, it then does two things for you. Firstly, it gives you an ablative shield that protects your life. This shield lasts for the duration of the skill, which by default is 3 seconds. However, we're actually going to want to make that lower, which is counterintuitive, but we will want to do that. And then it causes 75% of incoming damage to hit this mana force barrier that's protecting you. For as long as that mana force barrier has at least 1 point left of damage that it can absorb, and remember the amount of damage it can absorb is equal to the amount of mana that was burnt casting the skill, then you will gain added lightning damage, and you gain a lot of added lightning damage with this. So that added lightning damage is not only to spells. Whilst this has traditionally been used, well, it's a newly added skill, it's traditionally been used on Hierophants that focus on mana stacking. It's something that can be used on attack builds as well. The buff grants added lightning damage equal to 14% at high gem level of the mana spent by this skill's effect. Additionally, I believe that there's a point, it's actually gem level 20 or 21, where that jumps up to 15%. So let's assume that you've got 4,000 maximum mana and you pop Arcane Cloak at full mana. What this is going to give you, assuming a level 21 Arcane Cloak, you're going to instantly burn 2,600 mana, so you'll be down to 1,400 of 2,600 left, and you will have an ablative shield that will protect your life and your energy shield, and it will be a 2,600 point shield. As long as that shield stays live, then you're going to get 15%, so 390 added lightning damage to your skills. That's to attacks, but it's also added to spells. Now, we're going to be using it with an attack, and we're going to use it with Earthquake. Earthquake has a couple of other things that will help here. It's got a default of 120% base attack damage, and this damage is also this 120% boost at gem level 20 also works in conjunction with the added lightning damage from Arcane Cloak. So suddenly we're getting a huge amount of added lightning damage to our Earthquake hits. And the thing that makes it all come together is Indigon. We have just spent 2600 mana, and yes, Arcane Cloak does count as spending mana for the purposes of Indigon. So that means that we're getting essentially 13 chunks of 25% increased spell damage. What's 13 times 25? 325% increased spell damage. And then because of this special alternate quality, increases and reductions to spell damage, i.e. 325% increase here, also apply to attack damage from this skill. So this means that essentially you are getting a huge boost to your Earthquake damage for a short period of time. I think there's a lot of potential here. This is a combination that looks like it will empower a completely ridiculous new build. Some of the things that you might want to use alongside this, you're definitely going to want to be in the Hierophant Ascendancy. I believe you're almost certain to want to use a one-handed weapon and therefore use a shield with it. The reason I say that is that two-handed weapons don't double dip on this extra damage from the lightning. So they just get the lightning damage from Arcane Cloak. There's no reward for that damage. That's not multiplied by being two-handed. So therefore, you're going to want to use a mace of some description, but you could even go unarmed. And you're going to then use that in conjunction with Arcane Cloak. You might also want to investigate the shield Mana Storm as another option as well. This is a shield that looks like it does so much, and I almost never see it getting used. It's cool. It allows you to cast a very occasional spell on a build that is primarily an attack build, and then gain a huge boost to your lightning damage. This actually works in a lot of ways like Arcane Cloak does. It's just that you have a little bit of a different interaction with how it's set up. I do need to investigate whether Mana Storm sacrificing mana triggers Indigon or not. This interaction I do not know. However, I do know for certain that Arcane Cloak does count as spending mana as far as Indigon goes. So that's a couple of ideas as to how you might want to build around the Earthquake third alternate quality. This looks amazing. The other thing that really stood out, and this was one that we knew about for a while, was Kinetic Bolt. And that's the alternate quality one. Increases and reductions to cast speed also apply to attack speed. We've seen what this looks like when it's not at 20 quality. When this was initially spoiled, I think it was spoiled at something like 14% quality, and it was increases and reductions to cast speed apply to attack speed at 70% of their value. The key thing here that we want to know is whether this can apply at more than 100% of its value. If it can, and the same applies for Earthquake as well, there's a lot of potential to do some really, really, really ridiculous things with these new gems. Anyway, there is a lot to have a look through. I highly recommend any skill gem that you've committed that you're going to be using in the new league, have a look and see what is available as perhaps whole of league goals to maybe pick up as alternate skill supports. Some of these are going to be great, some of them are just going to be really mediocre, and some of them will be in between. But definitely check any auras that you're planning to use. If you're not playing a support character, let's say that you're planning on playing Malevolence on your character, perhaps you're playing an Ignite Fireball Trickster, and then at this case, you probably aren't interested, if you're not a support character, in 40% increased area of effect. But you'd be very happy to get you and nearby allies deal 10% increased damage with ailments, or 10% skill effect duration. Both of those are better than 40% increased area of effect on the aura. So definitely check that for every aura. Anger has a better one than that. And I think from memory Despair the Curse has Curse Effect, which is really strong. Lots of different things that do, lots of different options here that can slightly improve a build in most cases. But Earthquake with Indigon and Arcane Cloak, looks like it's an entire new build that's enabled by that combination. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you've got any comments or questions, fire away below. Otherwise, I hope you have a good one.